Hey, hello, I'm Tunesy, if you couldn't tell by the channel name, of course. Oh my goodness, guys, we're on day 20 freaking 3.
Michael Jordan.
um, Also, I lied about Michigan. Michigan's actually being posted on Monday, which means it is already posted. For me, I just freaking uploaded, Massachusetts, I think. The Boston Triangler. And yeah, Michigan's tomorrow, so by the time this uploads, it'll be Tuesday, afternoon. Yeah. Today's freaking state is Minnesota. You guys ever seen that Joe Biden meme where he says Minnesota?
Minnesota!
Uh, but yeah, Minnesota. I think that's more on my coast of the United States, by Colorado and everything. If I'm correct, I'm in geography. I should know. Yeah. Today's song of the day is "Black and White" by Juice World. The genre is hip hop and emo rap. Which, by the way, wait, let me try to find it. I have his album, which has that song on it, "Goodbye and Good Riddance." W freaking album. I love this album very much, actually. Sorry, little promo. Not promo, but little off topic. But yeah, I think actually I uploaded a video on that. I don't know. But yeah. Today's Minnesota. So, and I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I haven't really heard anything about Minnesota. And yeah, also, so freaking sorry. It's 9:02 and I'm kind of tired, not going to lie. I was just watching the freaking uh NMS concert. You know, if y'all didn't know, I'm a Jason fan. I love Phase Up, you know. Wait, yeah, Phase Up. Heck yeah. But Jason's my favorite member, and he just hosted a concert in LA for free, but it was 18 plus. Anyways, yeah, Minnesota. Let's get started. Oh my goodness, I look freaking chopped today, but it's okay. Um, Today's freaking state, rephrasing myself by the way, is Minnesota. Um, Today's freaking crime scene, which is a murder again, is about the Glensheen Murders, which I think I was doing another one, which is about like a child abuse that just happened in 2025. But I realized that has no information yet. I think it's still an ongoing case, so I didn't do it. This one's an older one, somewhere in the 1950s. No, 1970s, 1970s. Um, the other one was in 1872, and it was a hanging massacre or something like that. Massacre, however you guys freaking say it. But yeah. By the way, if I pronounce some of these names wrong, please don't get mad. Some of these names are low key kind of hard to pronounce. I practice, and practice doesn't help. Practice does not make perfect. Anyways, let's get started. Chester Adgate Congdon and his wife, Clara Hesperia Bannister Congdon, had 7 children. In 1905, Chester began building Glensheen, a 39-room mansion on their 22-acre estate in Duluth, Minnesota. It was finished 3 years later. Chester died in 1916, and Clara, many years later in 1950, upon which their daughter, Elizabeth, born April 22nd, 1894, inherited Glensheen. Elizabeth never married and adopted 2 infants. In 1932, she adopted a daughter, Jacqueline Barnes, and renamed her Maryjoy Mannering Congdon. A second daughter, Jennifer Susan Congdon, was adopted in 1935. Before Elizabeth's death, the family had planned to donate the Glensheen mansion to the University of Minnesota Duluth. Marjorie had 7 children by her first husband. She was divorced after 20 years of marriage. Marjorie moved to Colorado and married Roger Caldwell. At the time of her death, Elizabeth needed round the clock care after having a stroke. She had been confined to a wheelchair and she was paralyzed on one side. Because of her illness, her fortune was being held by a trust, and the trustees cut Marjorie and Roger off. Marjorie's own trust fund had been wiped out by spending. She and Roger had their house foreclosed and their cars repossessed. On June 27th, 1977, at 7 a.m., Elizabeth and her nurse, Salma Paitila, were found murdered. Paitila had been beaten to death with the candlestick. How do you beat someone to death with the candlestick? What's a... Jeez. It must have been like one of those long ones. While Congdon had been suffocated with a satin pillow. Paitila had been a regular nurse for Miss Congdon until she retired. She came out of retirement to fill in for another nurse that evening. The motive was initially thought to be robbery, as the bedroom had been ransacked and there was a missing jewelry box. Paitila's missing car was discovered the next morning in the airport parking lot. Elizabeth's daughter, Marjorie, became an immediate suspect as she was to receive $8 million at the time of her mother's death. 3 days before Elizabeth's death, Marjorie had authorized a paper saying Roger was to receive about $2.5 million of her share. Based on evidence found at the scene, and later in Roger and Marjorie's position, they were arrested. Roger Cadwell was tried first and convicted in 1978. Marjorie was acquitted in 1979. During the trial, a key piece of evidence in Mr. Cardwell's trial, a fingerprint on an envelope, was contested by an expert. In addition, a witness came forward during the trial to testify to Roger Caldwell's whereabouts, though the witness recanted after the trial. In 1982, the Minnesota Supreme Court overturned Cadwell's conviction and ordered a new trial based on the additional evidence found during Marjorie's trial. Rather than risk an acquittal at retrial, the prosecution offered him a plea deal, a confession, a guilty plea to second-degree murder, and time served. He served 5 years of a 20-year sentence. He confessed to both murders on July 5th, 1983, and was released. He committed suicide on May 18th, 1988. Marjorie's children filed a civil suit against her inheritance, arguing she was involved in the murder. She was limited to only $40,000 a year from the trust. John DeSanto, the prosecutor of the case, kept a key piece of the evidence from the trial, which was the envelope with the fingerprint that was contested. Years later, he had it DNA tested, and it was a 99% match for Roger Cadwell. Marjorie spent nearly 2 years in prison in the 1980s for arson of her own home, shared with her third husband, Welly Hagen, who died in 1992. Upon her release from prison, she was arrested for arson again, receiving a 15-year sentence. About 3 years after her release from prison, she was arrested for computer fraud and several other counts. She was pleaded guilty to fraud and removing money from the bank account of Roger Sammies, who, before his death, had been under her care. She received 3 years probation in 2009. Oh my goodness. All of that for freaking money. What the heck? Anyways, that's the end of today's video. This one's more shorter. Thank goodness I just got done freaking editing. Well, before I was watching Jason. Well, actually, no. Okay, let me tell y'all about my day real quick. Sorry. I freaking woke up, right? And then I started I did the thumbnail for today's video. No. Yeah, the today's video which I uploaded, which was Massachusetts. And then I wrote the script for this video, and then I started editing Michigan. Um and bro, it was 25 minutes, and I think like it was 25 minutes, and then I think like 4 minutes of footage got cut out of it just because it was me just like stuttering or like not saying the word right or not pronouncing it right. Like, oh my god, y'all know how much like effort that I put into that, and the editing too, trying to find like the people's faces and how to like if they have like available imagery. Um, but yeah, and then I fell asleep after, and then I forgot to post freaking Massachusetts. Like, what the heck? And then I posted it at like around 5, I think. That's when the time I woke up, 5 Mountain Standard Time. And yeah, and then I just relaxed for the rest of the day until I had to make this. But yeah, busy day, guys. That's the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this series. It's already almost over. Can y'all freaking believe that? I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.